So I thought you guys are comfortable in Rhino, so I thought I would just show you a few new tricks in Rhino to kind of get you started to think about things in a little bit more complex way, or maybe it just give you a little bit of something that would give you a little bit more freedom in Rhino than you have currently. So, all right. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you to Grasshopper. Now, Grasshopper is an add-on. I just typed in Grasshopper and this popped up. It's a great platform for basically doing some parametric modeling. You see a gray, gray or taupe canvas is pretty much empty now. And what you do is you have components up here. Many of the different the ribbon up here with the menu system is similar. You'll see curve is the same, surface, mesh, transform. Some of those things are very similar, but some of them are different. And it allows you to do essentially visual scripting. So let's get started. What I'm going to show you, I mean, we could do basically a sweep in Rhino. So we're going to sweep, let's try that again. We're going to do a sweep where we have the rail. I don't know why I have two there, but I have two. We'll do one, and then we're going to sweep the shape. So let's say that. And let's just say that that's fine. And that's what we get. So we can do road-like, or we can do freeform. Freeform looks like it's about what we need. And there you go. So if I was right and I had my shape just right and I had my rail just right, then everything's great. I'm done. Well, I'm going to show you in Grasshopper a different way to do it. All right, I'm going to get rid of that. So up here on the canvas, we have the parameters. I'm going to grab this curve component. I'm going to bring it down. And I'm going to fill it with the rail. And I'm just going to right click on it. I'm going to say rail. I could also get to that curve component you saw up here by just double clicking and typing in curve. And I'm looking for that same symbol and I can bring that down. And I'm going to fill that. I'm right clicking and I'm going to fill that with one curve right there, which is my shape, I think is what they called it. So I'm going to call it shape. And then I'm going to double click because I know there's a sweep command. I'm going to grab that. Now, if I didn't know that, I could go to surface and I could go find it, I think under freeform. There, it's right there. So there's a lot of tools here, but I'm just going to show you a few. So don't get anxious. I'm just going to show you a few so that you can get introduced to this. This whole world is amazing. I've dug into it deeply and I've done whole projects where essentially a few curves and a huge massive script basically create a building. So you can go crazy or you can do small, and I'm going to show you the small way. So what I'm doing is I'm like a circuit board. I'm just kind of connecting this rail. This is now full of that geometry. You can see it's green over here, so it's previewed. I know that it's full. It went from orange to gray. That's another way that I know that is full. And I'm looking at the input of this component, the sweep one component, and it says rail curve. So I'm just, that looks like it should go there. And then this one says section curves. Oh, well, it says section. I'm just going to change it to section. That makes sense. It wouldn't matter what I called it, just as long as I knew what it meant. So I'm going to put that in here. And you can see the same thing. Well, that's cool. Now, if I decided that for whatever reason, this thing needed to maybe change shape, like maybe it wants to be a little bit kind of deeper. Oh, that's the wrong one. I'm confusing myself. I'm going to delete that one. Okay, if I wanted it to be that maybe it wasn't a pure arc, it was something else, I could do that and it changes shape. But more likely what would happen is like, well, maybe this section's not quite right. Maybe I really would like it to have filleted corners. And so if I'm going to do that, I'm going to do 1-inch filleted corners. And it rounds. Well, suddenly look at this preview. Now it's just a preview. It's not really there. If I wanted it there, I could just right click and go, hey, bake. So I'm clicking on that and I'm right clicking, bake, and we'll put it on layer 1. And then now, if I just close Grasshopper for half a second, you can see that that actually is in the geometry. It's kind of obnoxiously red, so I'm going to turn it gray. And there it is. Well, that's cool. But the beauty of it being in Grasshopper is it's dynamic. I can change this willy-nilly. I can go, well, you know, I don't have the ergonomics quite right. It'd be better if this was just down another 1/2 inch. It dynamically adjusts itself. It's all good. I'm going to undo that because I don't want to do that. I could also, now that I've got that played out, it's like, well, you know what would be cool is that this isn't a banquette. It's not like something that's going to be stuck to that table. Well, I mean, actually, why not? You know, let's extend that thing. So I'm going to click right here and I'm going to like say, well, what if that was a semicircle? Right? So let's do that. And then I'm going to extend that curve. Let's just hit that first, extend to there, and I'm going to click on my rail, and it went all the way around. That's cool. Now, it looks like it lost, oh, well, it's back. So there you go. I could do a full banquette and make it work with that. And that's cool. I could also, well, you know, it's kind of open-ended. It looks like it's not full. No, I wonder if there's a cap involved. I know it probably is. I'm just going to hit that cap, and I'm going to hit it, click it there, and you can see that what happens is that you end up with multiple previews. They're not really the same thing. Like this one's actually, if I bake that, I would see a capped volume. Oh. Or I should have seen, but it had problems. So let's try that again. Let's try this one, see if it does what it's supposed to do. Delete that. All right, so there seems to be something that's not quite happy by capping that there. And imagine it had something to do with the way I extended that. But for the most part, I think I've got what I wanted. And if I just bake it, put it on layer 1, and let's see if I can't cap it now. All right, so there is some kind of problem. So that's a bad demo. I'm going to undo my, go back to this, and let's see if we can actually cap that. It didn't quite like, I don't think, coming all the way over. There's something that wasn't kind of creating an endpoint that was planar. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, there's something still not really kosher with the way I'm doing this. Okay. All right, so other things I can do is I realize that this is just a sweep. So it's a rail, which we have there. We have a section we have there. Well, the rail can be substituted. So if I simply go with something, I don't know, anything, you know, say it was something crazy like that. Now realize that this is going from up to down, so it's not going to be quite what I intended. So let's just see that. you can see that that is actually interesting, but wouldn't really work. So I would need to make sure that I have something that is a planar. And when I say planar, it means that everything is being drawn on one plane. Because otherwise you get something that's a little bit crazy. And it goes kind of does something in 3 dimensions, which actually can be really amazing. So I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying that that's not what I was intending at this moment. So if I turn this off, I'm basically selecting everything that I don't want to see in this view, and I'm just going to right click and go, don't preview it. So you can see it turned darker gray, not light gray, and that is there. Yeah, I wonder if actually my problem is that once I went to this being filleted, that there's something that it just does not like. So my guess is that. So I'm going to copy or cut that, and I'm just going to get back to when there was this, and then I'm going to paste that back in. And my guess is that at this point, if I bake this, it's going to be happy. Yeah. See there, it has a nice cap on both sides. So at this point, then I would do a blend or something to get those kind of to be softer. And if I look at this further, I would probably find something else to do. So what I'm looking for you guys to do is that's just an introduction to Grasshopper. So what I want you to do is just come up with some kind of cool seeding element that you want to do. I'll probably throw a few other videos that are just kind of rabbit holes that you can follow and see if that kind of sparks your interest. But really all I'm looking for you to do is to come up with something in Grasshopper or maybe using Grasshopper to do some kind of simple things, and then importing that into your Revit model. Okay.